Several weeks after I first met human rights defender Monica Paulus, I travelled to her home. But when I arrive, a neighbour shows me an empty house and Monica's few possessions either stolen or destroyed. I'm told a group of young men armed with guns and machetes broke in during the night. I find Monica several hours away. She says an early warning allowed her to escape.
Someone told me I must not stay in the house, so I moved. In the morning when I came back, the house was broken into.
Monica was targeted for preventing the torture of a 9-year-old girl accused of sorcery. The witch hunt began after a baby drowned in a nearby river.
They left the baby on the side of the river bank, and with the other kids they were playing. When they turned around, they realized that the baby was not at the river bank that they left, so the baby must have got drowned and was carried away by the river already.
An orphan without family protection, the 9-year-old girl was immediately singled out as a sorcerer and blamed for the death.
They locked her in the house and they started questioning her as to how she killed the baby. When I asked her, she told me, they said, if you did not admit, we're going to kill you. So out of fear, she told them that she did witchcraft on the baby, but actually she didn't do anything, she said. So I knew there would be a lot of danger involved, and there would be a lot of accusation at the back of what I've been doing, but I really felt that I should really help her.
Now a victim herself, Monica tells me she's thinking of stopping her work, helping others.
It's like I'm getting really tired and I can't move on, and I feel like there are times that I feel like I just quit what I'm doing and just, sit back and think about myself and what I should do and all this, because when I look and think about it, it's like there's no support and there's no security guaranteed at all.
Most of the victims of sorcery attacks are women, but sometimes men are pursued. Norbert Sill and his mother Angela died of deep wounds to the head, inflicted with machetes and axes. Their bodies were thrown into a communal toilet pit, a final indignity common to sorcery killings. Police told me they could not find the men responsible, but as I discovered, one of them wanted for questioning still lives at the crime scene. Are Maima denies having any involvement, but gives a detailed account of the witch hunt.
So all come and up, all come solna, all come lugiman plaman, suspect man stop there. So all just so him neck blend. I'm come close to up, so neck blend knis, close to negrana way, I'm all put him knife close to. Na Angela time or plan the man to contribute inside. I'm mamas plan knife come there, lose him lab them straight there.
The attackers then turned to the mother of the murdered man.
I'm come there straight now. I'm going to say, I'm going to say, Labanis na. I'm just pushing him come outside na. Chop neck blend there. Now I'm put down there.
A period of feudal violence followed in retribution for the killings. Entire villages were burnt down and people were forced from their homes. But there were no regrets for the witch hunt.
Problem, every blame you want all man belat no kuturu jela all entire community. You want arre blame or suspect genosem emigat sagumatu. Mama blame gimem emigat so. And that jela mo so also we make blame. Na kill him down. Na jela san no kan kama bien mo. Nejam balance him.
The brother of the victim, Moses Sill, told me he was angry the killers remained free and said he was preparing to take the law into his own hands.
Na on gamano no mi so mi tintino mi mantu so mi tintino baim gan na mot na mi kat bigla tintino so mi leksim live lo o sem tu o tribla na mot mixim bi me kat belisi mi tingo se na mi ka mait le sta one time ol pem liblo all this la ni mi bla right ma dablo memory flight mo sem ol mani kilim norbet lo em kat one bla pigni man na mi kat one bla pigni man so time tubla bigla tubla by redeem na em tubla still by so na all this la line come em os embirwa by stop for a lifetime.
Most victims of sorcery attacks can expect little help from the law. Police in Papua New Guinea are understaffed and under-resourced. Corruption is rife, and witchcraft has such an entrenched following in this country that police often lack the will and motivation to investigate.
Okay.
Michael Welsh is the senior commander of Kundiawa Police Station. As a local man with strong beliefs, he says witch hunts are necessary to protect people from sorcery.
There is sorcery in existence, and the result is when we see somebody die. The police cannot arrest the sorcerer himself or herself.
Commander Welsh dismisses the global condemnation of Papua New Guinea's witch hunts and says outside views should not be imposed on the country.
We don't really see that it's human rights abuse. When it comes to sorcery cases, the sorcerer does not have any rights. And if we get rid of them, then I think we will have no human rights abuse to anyone.
If you get rid of the sorcerers, there won't be any abuses of anyone's.
Abuses, no.
How exactly do you get rid of a sorcerer?
We kill them. We just go ahead and kill them.
Many survivors don't report attacks because they say police will never investigate, but others refuse to give up. Several months after he rescued his wife Mary from attack, I find Peter Carley outside the police station. He has identified one of the suspects to police.
Same time me stop the bus stop na me lugim chila. Narbla suspect me go down no same na me come talking all police finish. For police talking me you stand up here you watch man.
Peter is angry that police have not investigated the witch hunt that nearly killed his wife.
So now community is involved now.
That's all not taking one action. Tintin global now we are more system operate also more like money. Na all some la bravery number to taking action na.
Determined they arrest the man, Peter spends several hours detailing the case to police. Eventually, officers make their move.
People are arresting you, law, at them of Medaya. So policeman black see lava got the report police that was in blood and Katiom La Mary, Los Aspect, Los Angoma. You clear Los Arts Blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Police made the arrest, but investigations of witch hunts are extremely rare. But with growing international outrage to sorcery killings, police are slowly being pressured to take action. Francis Arpa is a detective with the Homicide Squad and says police often find it difficult to investigate witch hunts.
Administration problem lo manpower lo conducting rate na kese molman islam lo sa panim some hardship league.
After reports of a witch hunt in the north of the province, officers agree for me to join a search for the perpetrators.
Lo chimbo raga terenem one bagan big lo obstacle we. Niblo sa panimar lo gonchal ausland sometimes.
Police often enlist relatives of the victims and local villagers to help catch the suspects. After travelling with the boys for several hours, one of the suspects is spotted by the side of the road. Police and the villagers attempt to arrest him.
Go Pinis.
Although one man gets away, a second suspect is captured and taken into custody, and one of the recruits begins a brutal assault.
I'm going to tell you, do you?
I want the suspect. Give me come here. He's one of the prime suspect. So, give me arrest him. You go back. I'm offending him. Some again. You should legally force now. Okay, have me one bell. I don't me plus police supposed to work him working, but I'm him. I'm just grabbing him now, fighting him like just no more. You like when me let him go out there? You know, I don't talk to me.
The police are also involved in causing a lot of abuses in human rights. When you look at it, the police brutality. When a perpetrator is brought before that, you will see them start punching them, and then, to me, it's like they don't know enough about the human rights. So there should be a lot of training, and they should also have patience in them when handling cases also.
Undeterred by the threats to her life, Monica continues to help the victims of witch hunts and is urging the national government to stem this spiralling human rights disaster.
The government of Papua New Guinea has to look seriously into these cases, and they should work with the human rights defenders on the ground, the community leaders, the police. Everyone has to get involved because the violence is really getting out of hand and it's really increasing. In one way or the other, the government, the people, the leaders, everyone has to work together.
Monica is one of the lone voices brave enough to speak out against the brutality of witch hunts. But few are listening, and fear of sorcery is growing. Attacks against the innocent are spreading across Papua New Guinea and becoming more brazen. And as the number of people tortured continues to rise, the horror of sorcery killings may have only just begun.